it's quite good to just have these webinars whereby I can give full information. So on my social media handles and my YouTube channel, I do share, just brief. But I realize that, people's attention span is short. So they prefer when you're on social media, you just give them 10 minutes or 15 minutes information. But we all know that 10 minutes, 15 minutes information cannot really, I'm just giving you a snippet. I'm not giving you the full information. And I am a stalker for get information, And so that brought about the webinar. And so the webinar is somewhere whereby I bring people that are in their field, and I've watched them over time, and I've seen that they've built some form of skill that all of us can, would need. The last webinar, we spoke about how to be able to navigate your emotional health, emotional intelligence. But the interesting thing is that we deviated a bit and went into personality development. And so right now, we are coming on to talk about building a resilient mind. And the best person that I know, that can, talk about this topic a lot is Mr. Mike Fowope, because he's somebody that I've seen, and I've seen his work, and I understand, okay, what is resilience? What do you mean by resilient? And I saw that he is somebody that would, I can have a conversation with. So today is just a conversation about the topic of what resilience is. And so people would ask me, what is resilience? Like, what does resilience really mean? I'm just going to give a dictionary definition. So resilience means being able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions, or being able to bounce back, and so you're asking, why was this topic? Why was it that this was the topic that was chosen? I've come to see, and as the conversation goes on, that resilience is a skill every human being must have. If you want to navigate life issues, you must have the capacity to bounce back. And then you must also understand that issues will come up, and you must be ready to know that you have to bounce back. That's the issue. That's how everything is going. So, Mr. Fowope, how are you? Good to see you. Do you want to share your video or?
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm fine. I just shared briefly. I'm in worry.
Yes,
Yeah, I
yes.
came for a seminar, and I had to leave my guests. I told them I have a very important meeting that I had to attend. So
Thank you.
here, here I am. I'm going
Thank you.
to remove the video so that it doesn't put pressure on the bandwidth.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
That goes
All
on.
right. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, the pleasure is mine, honestly. The pleasure is mine. And this is something that I've got in the works for a while, and I was wondering who is the person that I would want to speak about this topic. And it's because I know him. He's somebody that I have known for such a long time. He's somebody that my husband respects a lot. My husband respects him quite a bit, And I was like, okay, let's call him in. I'm just telling you, yeah, your Miss one, your me respects you quite a lot. He really does. And so
And
this may come
same
in,
here,
yeah.
same here, same here.
So let's just go in and welcome everyone. It's good to have you. So just some housekeeping issues. As the topic is going on, you would like, if you want to drop your chat, I would prefer you drop your chat. Then when I'm reading your chat and you now want to ask the questions, you can. So please just drop your questions I'm sure we're going to answer some questions. I can't guarantee we would answer all questions, but we will answer most questions. But if you see that you don't even want to drop your chat in and you just want to raise up your hand, please feel free to do. My name is Oluwabumi Shonde. I like to call my name full because calling the name fully makes meaning. I'm a stalker for names, And so my name is Oluwabumi Shonde. I'm a behavioral therapist, and this is the second webinar I'm having so far. We say bi-monthly webinar, whereby we bring people that we know can discuss issues that is just affecting everyone. And now, so let's give a bit of background. I think much more post-COVID, there's been a lot of redefinition of everybody. Everybody has kind of like redefined their processes, redefined themselves, redefined how they do things and how they move things. And in that, there's a lot of skills that people are dropping and people are bringing on. And based on so I was explaining for some people, based on the work I do, I realized that when I have clients come in, they kind of don't know that resilience is a skill they need to have. So when they need to build the skill of resilience, they see that almost like, oh, I'm done for, I'm doomed, I'm done for. And so Mr. Fowope, that's one thing that I want us to talk about today. But before we start, please, can you just introduce yourself, who you are, what do you do, and all that?
Okay, so my name is Fowope Adewale Mike. I'm a father of 4, married like 20 years ago to the love of my life. And I'm the MD of Fintech Africa. It's a fintech company that provides online trading platform for people who want to trade in FX, CFDs. I'm a Christian, to God be the glory. I would die one. And I don't know what else to say about myself. I think that's pretty much about myself.
Yeah, thank you. I think I like the way you started introducing yourself. You started with what was most important to you and you moved on. And so let's just dive in, if you don't mind. Let us just
Good.
dive into the question. And so let me just ask, so based on my interactions with people, I've come to see that people are unaware that they would need the skill of resilience. And I defined what resilience means for those that are just coming in. Resilience is your ability to bounce back, your ability to stand up. And so that means that something happened to you that you need to spring back on. And so my question to you, Mr. Fowope, is that, is it possible to really bounce back? Is bouncing back something that is possible? Let's even start with that.
Yes, the story of my life is a very good testimony. It's possible to bounce back, but I don't pray people have a problem that have to bounce back because it's a very difficult thing to be candid. It's a very, very difficult thing, but it's possible to bounce back. It's everybody, but I feel I read about this guy Femi Otedela that he almost committed suicide, not too long ago, maybe less than 15 years ago. Everybody thought he had it all, but he was in a very messy situation. But fast track back today now, he's doing very well. So we've had people fail. I failed woefully. To the point that I couldn't pay my children's school fees for 2 years. I was teaching them at home, me and my wife, So it's possible to bounce back out of any difficult situation.
Yeah, so thank you. So the thing about it is that is a fact. But I would like us to drop in the chat questions if you think it's not possible to bounce back. And so before I go to the next question, can I ask you a question? When you are in the process of, what you have to go through, did you know when you're going to bounce back? Did you know that you were ever going to bounce back?
Okay, so I knew I was going to bounce back. It's very important. I knew I was going to bounce back. When, I don't know. One thing I would like to say, everybody is governed by certain principle. Everybody. If you're a Christian, if you're a Muslim, if you're a Buddhist, if you're an atheist, everybody. So I'm a Christian. So I will say it was God that helped me. Another thing that really helped me is because I have very sound knowledge about the scriptures, and then, you know, each time, to be candid, it wasn't a very good experience, a very nasty experience, very bad. Let me use the word nasty, very bad experience. But, one of the scriptures that helped me then, the simple scriptures. Many are the afflictions of the righteous ones, but the Lord delivered them from all. In this, as I two scriptures, in this life we shall face trials and tribulation, but be of good cheer because I've overcome the world. These are scriptures that comes to mind every day during, I call it my time of valley. Every day, I call it my time of valley. It was and another thing is, sometimes I look back and I thank God for those experiences because they shaped who I am today, in all fairness. If God had shown me, I would say, God, please collapse that period. I don't want to go through it because it was terrible. And I'll make a confession today. I thought of suicide.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
I thought of suicide because, I came from a very humble background, married a woman who came from middle class. So it was shameful. I mean, the basic things, I couldn't provide food for my wife, and then I had 3 kids. It was a very shameful experience that I couldn't. Why will I bring this woman and these kids to suffer with me? If it's only me, I'm a very joyful, good person. I mean, I wouldn't have cared. But then they with me. So I thought of suicide, and I had planned to take my life. In all fairness. But then what stopped me, like I told you, something must govern one's life. We can't just rule that out. We need to really sit back and think about it. There's something, I look at, if I take my life, I'm going to go straight to hellfire, and that place I don't want to go. So that's made me stop. If not, I will have done it. So sometimes when I see people that's committing suicide, I will have said that God saved me. Because I too, I would have done it. It was terrible. I mean, for me, basically, if it was only me that was doing suffering, it's nothing. I mean, I grew up from nothing. So for me, it's nothing. I mean, drinking Gary is nothing. We drank Gary growing up, it's nothing. But another person that was eating Eja in their house. That you can understand. To the point that I couldn't give them. So it was the shameful experience, very embarrassing experience for me, And then also my wife supported. Honestly speaking, I remember one day I was crying. I cry. I'm a very expressive human being. I'm not afraid to cry. So I cried that day. And my wife told me and said, "Stop crying, Wale. I see into the future. It's going to be great." And you know what I did that time? I just look at myself and I laugh. I said, the reason why I'm crying is because of you now. So if you say you are willing to enjoy the wonderful moment with me, I don't have to cry. Honestly speaking. So, if my wife had given a little pressure, maybe it would have been worse. She supported me. And that's why I forever respect her. It was a very bad experience. Our kids were at home for 2 years. And then I told my wife, "You are better than me in English." We both had our NC. That's where I met your husband, you're me, So we said, okay, fine. I finished with the best student in my department. Anything mathematics, I used to be the best math student in Lagos State. So I told my wife, okay, let's pick up English textbook, math textbook, verbal and quantitative aptitude test. So we're teaching them at home, and at the point we discovered that the kids were not happy. It's affecting them psychologically. And so we had to buy, was it ITV then, or free to air cable? So after the class we show cartoon. It's very Very, very unpalatable experience. And also, I stayed with my landlord in the same house, and I couldn't pay rent for 3 years. So if the man is coming in, I have to run.
Wow.
It was tormenting. I had to run. Thank God for friends and family, who supported. Thank God for Christian brethren in my life. 1 or 2 times, I'll just stay in my house. I'll ask God, what are we going to eat tonight? God help me. And the next thing I will hear, somebody will knock at my door. Bro, my God says I should give you this 5 3 cups of rice. And I mean, it was God. So for me, basically, God helped me to go through this, because if not for God, I don't think I can do it alone. It was God that gave me ideas that led to the breakthrough. It was God that helped us through that moment. It was, I mean, Bumi was terrible,
Yeah.
terrible. I will tell you.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will, from Akute, I will walk to Ojudubega to withdraw, not to withdraw, because the minimum you can withdraw from the bank then was 1,000
1,000.
naira. I will have 800 naira in my account. I was okay, 800 naira. We can do a Ilala Sepo. So I will trek for 2 hours to go to Ojudubega to just withdraw 800 naira across the counter. It was really bad. But in my mind, I knew I was going to get out of it. I knew I was going to get out of it. That I knew. You understand? I knew I was going to get out of it. So I was just asking God to help me with things I can do and then He was there all the time to assist, to prompt me. It was God, really, to be candid, because I don't know the formula, I don't know the strategy. Even, there's something we normally say that when God gives vision, He gives provision, right? But if you look at it very well, for those that they have a vision, there's something they also have: passion. That passion, it is God. Because I remember when I was doing this, my business FX thing, my pastor were very close, would tell me, Brother Wale, I'm not sure God has called you to do this. Very good, because the the suffering was too much. But I'll tell him that, Pastor, I mean, it was God that told me this. He didn't tell you. So just leave me and let me be on the. So maybe I will say God totally helped me, shaped my belief, everything. I mean, it was just God just using me, helping me to pass through those period. I can't even sit down and say, okay, this is the strategy that I put. I use the strategy. I use this. All I know I was doing is I was praying. I understand scriptures. I was praying. I was really working hard. That time I will go to radio. I will go to from Akute, I will trek to oh my God. Okay, from
Alausa.
PWD.
Agege.
No, PWD. PWD.
I don't know what that.
PWD. Very close to Oshodi. So I will trek to grammar school.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Because then I was having radio program, to talk about what I was doing then. I had people that was willing to help me. Okay, Mike, I will give you radio slot for free. Mr. Babolojo was really helpful those days, So after, I remember I would trek from grammar school to the radio station. So before I get to the radio station, I'll buy pure water to clean my head, because I will have sweat. Wash off my feet so I look clean. Then I used to have one perfume. I'll just spray it so that So I was working that time, but I believe strongly that everything will be fine. It was just a matter of time, and God did it. Thank you.
Thank you. You were quite expressive in this thing, but I just want to summarize some of the key things you said. Although you were saying that God helped you, which is the truth, we can't take that out. But a lot of people will be like, but I know God too. How come God didn't help me? But there are some things that you said, and
Yeah.
you talked about value. You talked about the fact that your mindset. So one thing that and you were saying is the way you were thinking. Yes, you had seasons of emotions going up and down, but your mindset, and I'm going to say that as that was an anchor. So now let's go
Yeah.
back to how come you have that mindset? How come? And just go back to where you were coming back from. Why is it that you knew that you were going to come out of it? How was that mindset? Because today's topic is resilient mindset, and I'm going to explain some things to you based
Yeah.
on the work I do. When people come to meet me and they might say, oh my God, I have these things, I'll be like, I know the problem you came to meet me with, but you have to wait. I need to build your mind.
Mm.
Because if I don't build your mind, you're just going to be like, it's going to be a roadblock. So what you think wasn't the most important thing, what is? So someone can come and say, I'm having this now. So like, you know what? I know this is the issue you brought to me, but
Mm.
if we don't work on your mind, you can never overcome this. And let me tell you the truth. By the time I'm done with you, you yourself would now go and deal with what you have to do, because the most
Mm.
important thing is the mind, how you see
Mm.
yourself, how you view. So so let me put this stuff there. You're going to talk to me. How come you have that mindset? Was it the scriptures you were reading that was remodifying your mind? Was it that, your parents growing up, or your community, or your group of friends? Something must have happened to you that you had the resilient mind, because that's it. You had a resilient mind. You knew that this thing is tough, but I will come out of it. So what you were experiencing was, yes, the toughness, like you are in the midst of an uncomfortable situation, but there's no
Mm.
hopelessness. You didn't have hopelessness. And so
Mm.
and the other thing you said is support system. But going on, you said something that was very fundamental. You said principles of life helped. How did you know that you had to follow principles? Those are the two questions I have to ask. Like,
Okay.
how did you know that you have to follow principles? And how come you had a resilient mind in your situations?
Okay. Maybe it is inborn. Uh, uh, um, there are some things. To be candid, I cannot rule out God.
Yeah.
Okay. I, the foundation of my life. I don't know how to say it, because how am I so sure? Sometimes when we get scared. When we see
Mm-hmm.
things, we get scared, honestly speaking. But then there must be something, we need to look at it. There must be something that governs our lives.
Yeah.
Must be something. There must be something. So, I I read books a whole lot
One.
when when
Okay.
when I was because I was lucky to meet one of my ogas, then asked me. I think the first book I read, very good book, but how do I forget? By Sam Adeyemi, Start With What You Have. It's a book I recommend
Yes.
everybody. These days I don't have time to read, God help me. There's so much in my mind. But I think there's a whole lot in me. I've read a whole lot of books,
Mm.
a whole lot. But that book, Start With What You Have by Sam Adeyemi, is a book I recommend to anyone to read. I read that book maybe, I'm talking of 25 years ago. So I read books a lot. But there is something fundamental about my life. And that's why I was talking about God. It is. We must look at it. Everybody must sit back and say, what's my purpose in life? It's very important, because if we know it, it will be very extremely difficult for that person to go astray. So I'm going to share another story.
Mm-hmm.
A story I'll try to round up in 5 minutes. So when I finished my NC, I came home and I met a lady friend. So and then I greeted her. How are you? And she told me, Wale, I'm not. I've changed. I've given my life to Christ. I'm born again. I said, me too. I'm born again. What's the problem? You know. They said, okay, fine. So she attended MFM then, and she said she gave me that their prayer point 40. Say, Wale, go and fast, break 6 hours. I told her I'm a very lazy boy when it comes to fasting. I'm still lazy. Fasting, I said I'll do 12. So but God knows I'm always very sincere. I thank God for that. I don't deceive myself, I don't deceive people. So I prayed, and then so I came back, I went back to school, I prayed, I came back, and then she told me, did I have a dream? I said, no. Did you see girl? I said, no. And they said, that means you're not a serious Christian. I said, well, I did what I had to do, and I will not come and lie to you because I want us to date. I said, I did not say anything. So he said, no, you're not. And that was it. That happened maybe Friday. So on Sunday, I went to see my uncle, and then they were having a prayer session. And I joined them in that prayer. For me, this is fundamental. This is the foundation of my life.
Yes, please.
And the pastor looked at me and says, young man, it's as if you are at the crossroad, you are looking at to take a decision, you don't know where to go. So can you tell me about it? In my mind, they don't come. Who told you I'm at crossroad? Which crossroad? You know, this is me, very simple-minded, you know. I said, sir, I don't understand what I'm talking about, or I don't know. I'm not at any crossroad. I just finished my NC, and I don't have knowledge. He said, young man, you are? I said, no, I'm not. And I said, okay, let me tell you, young man, whichever way you decide to go of the two roads, God asked me to tell you you'll be successful, but do not leave God. I said, yes, sir. So the moment he left, as if my mind was just open. I said, wow, it's true. We just finished my NCE that time. You know, my NCE was self-sponsored because I was teaching and I was sponsoring myself. So I said, okay, it's true. I just finished my NCE. I was thinking, should I go full-time or should I go part-time? Full-time, if I go, in fact, I had admission, foot mina. If I go to full-time, who will pay my school fees? My parents, they don't have money to pay my school fees. Part-time had issues because if you finish from part-time to go for work, it's difficult. And I told my uncle that, it's true. This is the issue. My uncle said, Dewale, in my house, they call me Dewale. Dewale, you've had it all. Choose whichever. But in your journey of life, don't leave God. That for me, it's expo. So I'm not afraid. So God has said, whichever way. So I said, okay, I will go part-time because this full-time, I can't go. I don't have money, you know. So that has always been anytime that I get scared, I just remember that. So it gives me that courage that guy, God got you. Go face any. And the truth is, people tell me that, young man, you're very aggressive. I say, I don't have option, no. I have to, you know. So I think that is one thing, you know. And also, we don't have to rule out character. You have to have good character, you know. People that I've met in my life, they will tell me, oh, Mike, it's a very nice person. Is in fact, my partners will tell me Mike is so nice, he's so good that his staff can manipulate him. So they see it as that Mike, you are too nice, is becoming weakness. So it's good to have that character because it helps. People see that and they want to help. You understand? It's good to be honest. It's not easy, but it pays to good virtues. And also it's very good to be hardworking. The truth is, sometimes I'm afraid, and I want to relax. Whenever I remember that there was a time I was eating rice without meat, I will get up from my sleep. I go back to work and start working. I don't want to go back. And when I read this book, is it The Mind of Millionaires, or Millionaire's Mind, yeah, I've forgotten the author. And they ask many of those, what's your fear? Fear of failure, and they say that they were one time uh, in their life they lacked, and each time they remember, it gives them, should I say, it's like it's a driving force for them, that no, I have to go and walk. Do you understand? So they keep walking because they don't want to get back to that level where they lack. And it's the same thing, whenever I remember, I don't get to sleep. I just get up and say, no. I know that if I stay on top of my game, I know I will get better. So that's why I keep pushing, and then, to be candid, resilience, I'll tell you, maybe God helped me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, everyone, please, if you have questions, you could drop them in. Welcome those that are just joining. This is Mr. Mike Fowope talking about, his experiences and how he was able to bounce back. And so I know a lot of people would ask to give us, we like gist, to give us how did you bounce back? But before then, I want to summarize most of the things you said because you know, you are gisted, but I am writing a lot of nuggets down. So just give me a bit of time to summarize what you said. The first thing you said was value. You understood that there's value in you. You
Mm,
understood that you had value. And when somebody was, which was your pastor, that was somebody that you trusted his voice, was trying to tell you otherwise. And it's not like he didn't like you, it's just that he didn't have the
mm,
full picture. You knew what God told you and you knew your value and you held on to it. If you read
mm,
stories of so many people, they would always tell you they knew something. And so the other thing is that you always remember that principles governs life. And if you see most of the
mm,
conversations we are having, character, these are principles that govern life. The part about the fact that you must believe in God. And you kept on going about it. So your own story is the God factor. You knew who God is to you and you held on to him. You talked about the fact that, it was your support system. And you talked about the fact that, you're reading your Bible and understanding. And again, having those aha moments with God. Sorry, I use the aha moment because those are moments whereby the God that you serve reached out to you and spoke to you. Those are your faith corners. Some people will call it your Ebenezer stones. Those are the points whereby you knew and you held on to him. And then one thing that I want to talk about really, you said you are somebody that expressed your emotions. You are not you don't hold on to your emotions. And I want us to talk about that because you're a male. And I know a lot of males feel expressing emotions is a sign of weakness. But in part of your success stories, you mention the fact that one of the things that helped you was that you could express your emotions. You didn't have a problem doing that. So can you talk about you now and expressing your emotions, what that means, even to guys, was it okay to have bottled up, and then you get to a point Or as a guy, were you always being discriminated about? Oh my God, Mr. Fowope, you know, you carry your emotions on your sleeve. You know, I know you and I know how expressive you are, and I know how, you know, you show your emotions a lot. But can you tell us a story about that as a male in an African setting? How was, you know, expressing your emotions? How did they help you? Or what are the hindrances to expressing your emotions?
Okay, I can't think of a story, but I think is who I am. Um, it's a very good thing because I express I don't want to, how do I put it? I just feel that, whenever I express my feelings, I get better. Whenever I express my feelings, it's so bad that these days I tell people close to me that I don't want to get angry. So let me tell you my experience. So personally for me, I don't want to get angry. Whenever I get angry, people say bitterness, right? There's bitterness. I feel that bitterness as if is it the gob, is it the, what they call that bitter thing
Bile,
inside inside
bile,
us?
the
Is
bile,
it
bile.
bile?
Yes.
Bile, yes. I feel as if the thing bursts and I feel it to the point of my throat. So the feelings I have, I don't like it. So I make sure I don't get angry because it hurts me. When I get angry, I get hot. Not even hot. I get that bitterness feeling, which I don't like. So I try my best not to get angry. And so what I have discovered is not even getting angry is the issue. When I hold on to it, it's a
Mm.
problem. So I have to quickly release. So that's why even my staff will sometimes like, boss, you are confusing us. You are angry, and in less than you are angry that you very explosive, and in another less than 1 minute you are smiling. I said yes, because if I don't do that, I'll kill myself gradually. So I don't want to die. So I have to express, you know. Yes, we always see the sign of weakness. And my son is like me. Any small thing he wants to cry, I will slap him. I said, you're a man. It's good to cry, but you shouldn't just dwell in that in it. Get out of it. It's good. I always tell people, let them cry, don't stay there, because it's not a good emotion, in all fairness. If you stay there, you get weak, and then we don't do anything. If you are weak, you will not do anything in this life. If we believe God, but God is not going to, if you're not willing to do your part, He's not going to do your own part. It will encourage you, He will give you signs. There are several ways God encourages people, Muslim, Christian. If you believe God, He will encourage. Do you understand? He does that, but you have to do your part. So I'm very expressive. It helps me. My wife will tell me, my husband, he talks, cho, 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 cho. I said, yes. And I thank God you don't talk. When I get angry, hey, I don't like what is happening now. And you just keep quiet. You don't say that. How will you, all right, if I'm talking? I said, thank God, he's so faithful, he's good. He gave me a wife that will not talk. So I love to express anything, good, bad, so that I am free. Actually, you know, in this our world, they'll say the sign of weakness. But I've learned one thing: people don't feed me. People don't. So I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. If when I was 21, I just at this stage I'm 50, I want to care. I don't care. I do what I know is right. I don't contravene any law. So if you like telling me this, I don't care. So that has really helped me. I express myself, even I cry if I want to cry. So what I do these days, that if something is so, I'll just go and close the door. I don't want my kids to see me cry. So that they don't say cry, cry, daddy. Because one day, I love to dance. I dance. I love to dance. And one day, kids are wonderful. So as I was about dancing, and they say, dancing daddy. Yeah. So I think for me, it's a good thing because it helps me to release myself. I don't hold back. I hardly hold grudges because it's going to kill me. So that's why I am expressive, you know. So for me, it helps me as human being, you know. Maybe if I hold back, I'll be terrible. You understand? I don't know. But I think it helps me, it release. So I'm happy with people. I hardly, get angry for too long. And if you look at there's a day I look at the scripture. I told you that it's like the Bible said that it's good to be angry, it's not a problem, but don't let the sun set on your anger, something like that. So it's not a sign of weakness. The principle and rules that guide me says it is good to be angry, but don't let it stay for so long. So for me, basically, it helps me, and then what helps me and doesn't hurt other is good. I think it helps me and it hurts other is a big problem. It helps me, it's also good for my relationship with others. Over the years I've seen that. So for me, it's a good thing, and I'll keep doing it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. One thing that I want to re-echo with what you said is being finding out ways to let out your emotions. But beyond that, one thing that I can say with these conversations we are having, the Bible says, and I know it's not even the Bible, script people just say, to thyself be true. And in all
Mm,
the conversations you've been making, you know who you are, and
mm,
those are major skills for moving forward. So let's talk about business, to move on, because I know that a lot of people would want to hear. And my question for businesses, how were you able to build a career in Nigeria? I know
mm.
a lot of people are in the jackpot syndrome and looking for ways to leave Nigeria, but you run a business. I know you have a business in Africa, not just Nigeria. And I think most of the things that happen to us cut across Africa. So how are you able to build, such a good business and in Nigeria starting from that? Can you just give us a brief, understanding
So
of what it looks like?
my life, for me, this time, I'm very happy. It's making me to have, like, should I say, uh I'm reflecting over what happened, and I'm really appreciating God. I cannot take out God in my life.
Mm-hmm.
God helped me. I mean, so I'm so sorry if we have people who don't believe in God. I am sorry. Um, this is what it has really helped me. And I'm going to tell another story. Running a business in Nigeria is not easy. When I started out, so I was going to try to, and one of my staff is here. I mean, she'll be smiling because I'm only saying this to them. So when we started in 2014, so in my story, people will learn. I
Mm-hmm.
am not the school type that will tell you this is what I did, these are the things, but I'll tell you the story and you can learn from it. You know, actually, it's good to have this spirit, never say never,
Mm.
and this has really helped me, especially in my business. I tell people that if I sell to you, you will buy 100%. 100%. I don't tell you why. I said, I know you will buy because I am selling solution. And
Mm.
before I sell to you, I will have sold to myself. I will have bought. And I
Oh,
know I am
wow.
helping you. Yes. I don't sell what I will not buy to people. So I'm sincere. So if I sell, I'll tell you, they'll say, but Oga, this person you talk to, he hasn't bought. I said, it will come when the time is right. And they always come back. And sometimes because I have that, I don't easily give up. When I give up, it means there's no, there's no way. You understand? I always try. to look for ways, So I don't give up. But when I started the business, we needed 30 million naira capital to start the business. I got 11 million. I lost maybe 7 million out of the no, I got maybe 7 million. I've forgotten how much I got, but I lost a huge chunk of capital when I was trying to get license in New Zealand, to the point that we didn't have should I say enough cash flow. We didn't have enough cash flow, and then we had to start from a shared office.
Wow.
It was tough. In fact, when I started, I couldn't pay myself salary for maybe first 5 months. I was just taking very little for transport, and I would just drop 10,000 naira at home. Please, let's use this to feed. And they were happy because from 0 to 10,000, was a miracle. So they were happy. I remember I employed someone. Our salary was 80,000, and my salary then was 50,000. My staff was earning more than me.
Wow.
Yes. So, and let me tell you, it was tough. I did everything. I was just deep inside the hole. It was tough. And then one night, I had looked at. I'm someone. I studied mathematics. I understand maths. I can project into the future. And I told God, it is mathematically impossible for us to continue business in the month of September if you don't step in. And Bumi, I cried, prayed, spoke in tongues for 2 hours. In fact, after the prayer, I was staying with my cousin. She came, she held on to me and was like, God should. I was crying. I was crying. And September came, we had the largest deposit. You can imagine the company of our size that time, in a month, our highest deposit, as in volume, maybe $10,000 scale. Somebody came from Hong Kong and deposited 100,000 US dollars.
Wow.
So
Wow.
the income we generate from that business was good enough for us to sustain us in a month for 2 or 3 months. And we now ask the guy, it's strange. Number one, you are a foreigner, you send money to a Nigerian bank. How did you get us? And the guy said, okay, Mike, I saw your advert uh, at home. I said, where? Where is home? Hong Kong. My advert. Yes, FXDM advert, I saw it. For me, I did not place advert. Where is the money to place adverts?
Wow.
God placed the advert and the man saw it. That's my belief. The guy traded with us for 3 months, and the revenue we made was enough to sustain us for another 12 months. That was a breakthrough.
Wow.
And up to now, the guy, we can't find him.
Are you
We don't know
kidding?
where the guy is. Yes, the guy did not lose money. The guy just withdrew his money when we had enough. So, Bumi, what will I say? Who did it? You understand? But then, this Ninja spirit is in us. Forget it.
Yeah.
We don't give up. We don't give up. You understand? So, for me, basically, the every other thing I would say never, be daring, be courageous. I mean, if God had not helped in September, there won't be Fintech Africa. There won't be. You understand? So that's why I always tell people that sometimes when I see now, okay, me, I'm just lucky. It's just God that helped and is sustaining us. In this time, I will tell you the truth. There was a time we downsized. We used to have 60 staff, and what we have now, maybe about 35. We've shut down some. I mean, we've shut down half, because it's been really, really wonderful. But I just tell my staff that God has helped us. Let's keep pushing. He will keep helping us. Let's make sure we do our best. I travel a whole lot looking for business. I don't care. I mean, I'll tell people that if I go and meet anyone that let's do business together, worst case scenario, they're going to tell me no. And no doesn't. I always tell people that if I'm doing business, Mr. Mike, I'm willing not to. I can't do business with you. And I'll tell you, okay, fine. That doesn't mean we are enemies. And I've seen over the years, like, let me tell you, a guy I've been chasing for 2 years to be our partner. Last year, at the point of endorsing signature to be our partner, he dumped us for another 4 competitors.
Wow.
I it was painful. I said, Mr. Mike, I'm so sorry. I had to leave. So I analyzed, why did he drop us? So we need to that thing is good. You have to be truthful to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Why? So number one, we did not have a competitive pricing. And I told the guy, okay, I understand the reason why you didn't sign. I'm not going to sign as well. Okay. Uh, thank you for thank you for the opportunity to at least be able to give me audience. But saying no now doesn't mean that we cannot do business in the future. And so he now moved to our competitor. When um when we improved our offering, well, I was in Coventry then. I just called him, guy, we've improved our Coventry. It is our competitors. I didn't want to think in my head that there is with someone. Hey, you understand? I didn't even care about that. I said, the last time you didn't sign because our offering wasn't competitive. He said yes. Now our offering is competitive, and I want you on board. And guy was like, but I'm with Consummate. I said, I don't mind. I mean, you can do both. Though it's weird, it's strange that you are representing two competitive brands, but I don't care. I just want my brands to kickstart, and I need you. And I convinced my partners too that, guy, we need to kickstart, and it doesn't matter. It is not conventional, but come on, it can represent. So I kept pushing from from March. I ended up signing the guy, and some of his team members came and said, Mr. Mike, uh, let me see if I can still find what the lady wrote to me. I don't know. And I was like, this thing happened. I don't know. Let me see if I can see. She wrote that she's learning so much from me that I just don't back down. That even when they all said no, I still found a way to convince them to say yes. And I told them in my mind that if you now go feed me, you know, and sometimes all those things we say they are negative. For me, they are really positive factor. If I don't get it done, it's going to pay my kids' bills. And I love my kids so much, my family. I don't want them to go back to that time of valley. So that is also a driving force. And, you know, those are sort of things that keep me going. Okay, let me see. Okay, this girl said something. I said, whatever will be, will be. It's only a matter of time. Time is a definite unit ingredient in the life of every man. We didn't sign them last year. But this man, consistency, yes, I'm always consistent. I don't give up. And never giving up attitude gave him what he wanted in the long run. This brings me to long suffering and perseverance. I have that. In fact, I don't know, I can persevere. Not that it's not hot, but I can persevere. Not getting it today doesn't mean you have lost the race, but waiting patiently can bring it in the end. Congratulations to Mr. Mike Fowope. So I got I got the deal. So thank you
Wow.
very much.
Wow, wow, wow. Please, if you guys have questions, I've seen my note is full. I've just been, I've been jotting and I've been writing. There's something that you said, and I think in Nigeria, I think I'll still go back to the fact, and you know that. So my husband was quite right, and we were quite right bringing you in because you just portray what it means to have a resilient mind. It's all starting with how you view your perception and everything. If there's nothing that anybody gets out of here today, is one thing that your mind is really who you are, how you view. Most of the conversations you've been having with us is just how you see, because somebody else can be in that same situation and then see a whole lot of the glass is empty. But you are saying that even though this glass is empty, it's going to be full, and then
Mm,
going forward and going forward. And these are the skills that really embodied resilience and embodied who, if you want to pursue what you want to pursue. I'm just going to do a bit of revision. And please, if you have questions, please, just put your hands up, or let's say a comment. But I'm just going to go back. You said something about vision. You had a vision, and so that's
mm.
why you didn't gamble into so many things when you were going through your tough times, because you
You know,
focused, and then in your
Exactly.
focus,
Remember
yeah,
our word then. Face
yeah,
one course until successful.
until
Focus.
successful. Yeah,
From
yeah,
I learned from Adeyemi, Sam
yeah,
Adeyemi.
yeah. Sama dear me. Yeah. So you focused, and you didn't say, "Oh, let me try this, let me try that." Even though everything that I'm right trying to read, everything that you're saying, even though it like you weren't making it at that time, focus. So some things that I'm just going to summarize that before people go on. One thing is your mind, and I'm going to come on again. If you are going through tough times, as much as possible, take time to build your mind, because your mind is the driving force of everything that's going on. Take time, because you would think that you want to do so many things. No, you could see with everything we are discussing, the mind is one thing. His belief in God was very strong for him. And by believing in God and by sticking to God and not going helter skelter, he was able to really go and do, like, focus on God. God brought about the miracles for him. God brought about this point for him and everything. Purpose. And I wrote that purpose was his anchor. So you had an anchor, and your anchor was purpose. You knew what God told you to do, even at that time when it wasn't conventional. I knew when you started, I knew that FXDM then wasn't even conventional at all. It was just starting. A lot of people would have even laugh at the fact that you started out, Forex at that time, because it wasn't even conventional at all. And you started, and you went on to say character. Your characters were always helping you out, or we're always bringing out things for you. You mentioned the fact that you were hardworking. You the skill to work hard. In this generation, it looks like hard work is going out of extinction, but you can see that working hard, was it. You had a driving force, which was your self motivation was your driving force. I had to like put it there, that your self motivation um was your driving force. And then let's go back to your sincerity in selling. You know, you knew your skill, you knew that you're a good marketer, and you leveraged on it. You were sincere. And then what I just want to stop with is your delayed gratification. A lot of times when you just start business and then you start making money, you want to go and blow and be like, this money, let us, they will say that, how was the phrase people used to say? can't kukuma kill myself. You know, people say I can't kill myself. I cannot come and die. But you didn't pay yourself for a while, delayed gratification. I know, and I'm going to say, one time I'm going to invite my husband to in and see how he was able to build. My husband is big on delaying gratification, like delay your gratification. Later you will get it. But so these are skills that you have in building, because it makes no sense not to pay yourself. And then even your first staff was earning more than you. And those are things that you just thought, why should I? Let me just go and spend, life continues tomorrow. And then you said there's something that I want to get again. You wrote remodification. By the time you got feedback from people and you realized that you needed to re-innovate, remodify your business principles, your business procedures. And I think even not even for business, even for all of us, there are times to make inventory about what we are doing, remodify. If you get a lot of feedback, and I'm going taking this into not only business, into your character. There's something that I always say, you are the constant T. I'm a science student, so don't worry, I'm using constant T. When we are doing formula, there's that T. T is time, it's constant. You are the constant T. And so if everybody is giving you a continuous feedback, it's good to take a pause and remodify and see, and then come back again. So thank you, everyone. I said we use 1 minute out of it, but I wanted to do a lot of recovery. I see the chat. People are just thanking you so much. I really, 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 really appreciate, you coming on, talking to us. It's interesting because I know the story, it's like we've been with you for a while, but hearing you saying it is even more inspiring to me. So thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Fowope. We appreciate you for coming.
Yeah,
Thank you for
you're welcome.
everything. Thank you for being in our corner. This is, a friend that has been stuck with us for so long. So thank you. We appreciate you and all that. And then in 2 months' time, we're going to do another webinar. Thank everyone for coming. So they said they have, somebody has a question. Let me go on, please. So if you can read it before I read it.
How do you deal with discouragement, especially from your close circle? So I'm going to give you it happened to me. It happened to me. There are some times in our life that we need to take decision about our lives. Yeah. So I'll tell you, discouragement came. My parents were the major discouragement then. So my mother will come, and then she will cry, say, my son, yeah, 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 yeah. So I told her that, okay, this yeah, 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 yeah is not helping me. I need to be strong. So my daddy will come also, hey, it's getting too long. So one day I called them and I said, please don't come to my house again. I told them, don't come to my house again. He said, yes,
Wow.
yes.
Oh, stuff.
I told them that you are taking me back, and you are messing up with my mind. You guys are, yeah, you don't know very strong influence in my life. So I told them, don't come to my house. It doesn't mean that I don't love you, but I need to concentrate and focus.
Mm.
And they didn't come to my house again for a while. Though they will call me, how is it? How are you? I said that I'm fine, but don't even. Sometimes I will not pick their call. So when you are facing negative energy and it's really affecting you, you cut that energy off. That's it.
Mm.
You
Mm.
cut it off.
Mm.
You cut
Mm.
it off. If it's affecting you, if it's something that you can ignore, but if it's affecting you, temporarily you cut it off, because we can't do without people. So you cut it off. Me and my mom now, I mean, we are very good. I understood then that she was doing that out of love,
Mm.
but that love was destroying me. So I had to, we should be able to sit there and analyze things objectively. It's very important. You sit there and analyze things objectively. And, I sat them down and I talked to them that, see, it's, I don't like it at this moment. So I had to cut them off. And then, so you have to, if you have people discouraging you and they are from close circle, there's nothing in this life, maybe, let me say, okay, my wife now, that's closer to me than my parents, so I cut them off. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So
So
please,
sorry,
guys.
let me come in. Sorry, let me quickly
Yeah.
come in. There's a question in the group from Mr. Gabriel Ojedapo. Mr. Fowope, please give us 5 minutes. I want to read this and see if you can quickly help us to answer it. He says, please, did you seek help from people to bounce back, or people just show up for you? Apart from hard work, what other factors facilitated your career growth and development? Thank you.
Okay, so I read books, then I read books a lot. I told you that something must govern our lives. So it's very important. There must be foundation, we shouldn't just toy with our lives, Well, I'm not perfect, because I'm saying God doesn't mean that I'm far from it, but God knows that I love him, So I read a lot of books. If Yomi will tell, because we were together in Zenny Bank, then I was buying books. Even if I would not read them, I would just buy, but I was reading. How did you seek help? Yes. For me, the kind of help I seek then was maybe talk to my pastor, and let me see. Do you seek help? Yes, I seek help. But then I read a lot of books. I read almost all of Kenneth Hagin's book, because you see, one thing is this.
Yeah.
Mrs. Shonde said something that everything is mind. And it is true. Guide your heart with all diligence, for out of it comes the issue of life. You understand? So it's not easy. I'm telling you the truth. So it's not easy, but if we can, everything starts from the heart. You understand? Sometimes, it all depends. You can seek for help, it's good, but somehow will seek for help. That's the truth. Because I remember even Yomi, there was some time I said, Yomi, there's nothing at home. You just say, okay, no, Fowope, it can't be you. Send me 10,000 naira, boom. That's seeking for help. You understand? But then, Yoruba will say something, Alatishe, Lomatishe are. You understand? Everything boils down to that person.
Please, can you interpret
you have
what that means? Because there's some people that know Yoruba here.
Yes, some Yoruba adage is difficult to interpret. So, Alatishe Lomatishe are means basically that you are the center of everything. It's your life.
Yeah.
You have to take charge. You have to take control.
Yeah.
That's not close to the meaning, but at least they are related. So I know that I'm the driver. God is helping me. So I have to really sit down, take some decision at every point in time. It's not easy. No, see, let me say it. It is not easy. I'm telling you the truth. Let me use wallahi talai. It's not easy. It's not. So I will say, as I say, God, because without him, I can't do it. In all fairness, sometimes I'm discouraged. I pray a lot. I just tell God, I'm discouraged. Encourage me. I pray it. God, I am up till now. I still say, God, I don't know. It's as if I'm empty. Please just help me. Your son is lazy. You are the one that has been feeding me all my life. And if you see my life, it's true. I'm telling you, if they ask me what skill do you have, I'll have to sit down and think. Do I have any skill? If you ask me, I don't. In all fairness, that's the way I see myself. You understand? I'm not a good speaker. I'm not from 1 to 10 grammar wise. I'm 4/10. You know. So, but I just believe that if something, basically for me, I sought help that time because sometimes there won't be food at home. They will give me money. My friends, Yomi has given me severally. And sometimes because I just meet pastor's friend, they will encourage me. I also told you how I will sit down and say, God, what are we going to eat this night? And there's no food. Let me share another one with you. This one is every time I always think about it, I'll just laugh. My friend, maybe I'm here preaching. We should see, I am not perfect. There was one day I trekked, it was in the sun, I had 100 naira. So I trekked from that PWD. PWD, it is after Ikeja GRA.
Wow.
Yes. So I trekked from PWD to grammar school. And the sun was too much. I had 100 naira with me. 100 naira would take me from grammar school to Akute. From Akute, I have to trek to Onibudo. And I was coming and I told God, I am thirsty. Can't you even give me water to drink? I'm thirsty. I'm telling you the truth. So, and then as I want to cross the express, I just saw somebody carrying pure water. And I looked at that pure water. And the guy said, look at me, I said, do you want? I said, yes, I want. So he gave me one. I popped the pure water and everything went to my mouth straight. I didn't know how. The guy said, wow, you want more? I said, yes, I want more. So I took half and I used the half. I used the remaining half to watch my head. So for me, basically, I would say my help is in God. I also meet people. So I'm sorry, I cannot leave God out of my conversation.
Yeah.
It's difficult. It's extremely difficult. So I sought help. I'm still always seeking help. Sometimes I go to sit down. I will meet in business. I will meet my brother-in-law. I will say, brother Remy, how are you running this business? My head, I always tell you, me, the fuse is now one. Oh, that fuse to blow. The fuse, there's a way we talk, jokingly that I have 6 fuses in my head. 4 is burnt. So I only one. So, and we joke about it. Sometimes I will meet people that are doing well. How are you doing it? And they'll just keep telling me that, Mike, just keep pushing. And if you meet, one thing I have seen, if you meet successful people, in all fairness, if you look at Dangote, they will tell you they don't know it. I've listened to Mark Zook, let me say Zook, and they will tell you that he was saying, I listened to him, he said, nobody sees the entire picture from the beginning, just starts.
Yeah.
He said, if he had knew that Facebook would be this big, he wouldn't have started. Just start, because the Facebook now compared to his dream is bigger than his dream. You understand? So I think we should just keep going, because if Dangote will tell you, you will see most of them, they ask them question. Really successful people, they don't have the right answer. They have to sit down, pause, and think, because they don't have the right answer. In all fairness, they don't have it. So they will start thinking, okay, you have to be very hardworking. You have to be strategic in thinking. What is strategic in thinking? Tell me. It's big grammar. You have to be strategic in thinking, but they will tell you, all of them is, like you said, when you start, don't want to blow, it's a dangerous game, So I think I've answered that. Mr. Fowope, how would you have handled it? The discouragement, if the discouragement came from your wife, not from your parents, you know, God will not allow things that will destroy me to come my way.
Exactly. That's scripture. No, but that's scripture. The Bible says that God will not allow the temptation that you cannot withstand to come
You
to
know,
you.
because the
Right?
truth is, I said it. So, this is a very good question, and I'll be very honest. I had a friend who I met during training. So this guy said that he had a printing press in Kaduna, was doing very well. Very, very well. And then, that Kaduna crisis, they forced them back to Lagos. So he didn't have anything. The wife got to work. And the wife will wake him up every night and say, Olori Buruku,
Wow.
God forsaken man. I'm the one feeding you. You're not ashamed. And the guy will
Wow.
huh. So maybe I wouldn't have handled it. That's the truth. Because like I said the other time, the reason why I was crying was because I brought someone from a middle class family to my house. I couldn't feed them. And see, two-face songs. If to say na me, abo, I cannot be poor. It's not to eat gari, rice. What is there? Only me. Nothing will happen. I'll be flange-joining. The money I have is too much for me now. For goodness sake, even 50,000 naira is too much for me alone. I'm telling you the truth. What will I eat? That's the truth. I thank God for my life. I always tell people that I don't even know how to spend money. It's me alone. Come on, but it was because my wife, my kids, and I was ashamed of myself that I brought them to suffer. So for this kind of situation, I thank God that my wife wasn't nagging. Maybe I wouldn't have handled it, like that. I'm not trying to be superwoman. So you can see now, if my wife was nagging, I said I thought about committing suicide. I would have said, God have mercy, let me die because it's too much for me, But I don't know. I don't know how to handle it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your honesty. I really had a good time. The Bible the Bible says, like you said, that God will not allow a temptation that you cannot withstand to come to you. And that goes back to what you are saying about your God that you serve, which is God that you serve, and you knew him enough and you trusted him enough. So thank you everyone for coming. It's been such a beautiful time. We appreciate you coming, and we apologize that we went 18 minutes and you guys stayed. You're able to asking more questions. So thank you, Mr. Fowope. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Omoya.
Máa gbádùn. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. I really appreciate this. And for me also, expressing myself is also remind me of what God has done, and it also keeps me going that, okay, because we are always facing challenges. I think there was someone that said, if you want to see someone who has faith in God, look into the life of an entrepreneur. The
Yeah.
truth is, to be candid, whenever I wake up, I'll say, God, help me. Oh. I'm sure in a day, I will say, God, help me more than 5 times, because the truth is, I don't even know how it's happening. I'm telling you the truth. So thank you for having me. And this also reminds me of God's faithfulness in my life, and to keep me pushing and to make sure I stay focused. It's easy to get off the track, but
Yeah.
I know I'm going to die a Christian. That I
Amen.
know.
Amen.
Yeah, I know.
Amen.
Come what may. I'm going to die one. I don't know what I would do without God. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. I would have the recording. So if you want the recordings, I will share with anyone that wants it. Mr. Fowope, thank you. Thank you everyone for coming. We appreciate you coming. And thank you. Have a lovely day, everyone. Good to have you. Bye.